Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, real conversations with real people. Our guest today has taken 14 years of experience in the industry and she's bringing it to her podcast. She's the host of Let's Talk DXB, a podcast that looks past the glitz and glam of the city, and it's based on real, raw and unfiltered stories of the people of Dubai. Welcome to the show, Sharon.
Thank you. Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much.
Well, Shahir wrote it. Thank you, Shahir.
Good work, Shahir. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Thank you for having me.
Really.
I'm such a fan of Lovin Dubai. You actually saved my life. I feel like I've got something to add to the WhatsApp chats because every morning I'm like, what's happening in the world? So I can comment on some of the stories that you guys share as well. So you do great jobs. Thank you.
I like that you're on brand. Thank you so much.
I was waiting for someone to comment on brand. Yeah, a marketeer. So
thank you.
Yeah.
So tell us about yourself. 14 years in the media industry,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And now you have your own podcast.
Yes.
People are loving it.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Oh, yeah, from a very vulnerable space, actually. So like you said, I've been 14 years in communications and marketing. And I started Let's Talk DXB, actually, from a place of self-healing. So recently got divorced in Dubai. So 10 great years in Dubai, family unit. And then I find myself filing for divorce, and I'm divorced in 6 weeks in the UAE. So it happened very fast, and I have a small son. And I think during that process, it was that wake-up call to say, this can't be it. There must be more to it. There must be so many other people that are facing actually just real life in Dubai. It's a great space and it's glitz and glam and shiny, but what happens when the reality of life hits and where's your community and support? So it started from a very authentic place and it's just grown, and the content has grown in that way as well. Yeah.
Wow. So what type of topics are you going to tackle on the podcast?
Yeah, so I've got so many. So, you know, the basis of Let's Talk, it's definitely around open dialogue. So open and honest discussions. It's knowledge-based, so very educational as well. And I've had some amazing professionals on there, and it's community. So the topic so far, I put myself in the hot seat and I talk about divorce in the UAE. But actually underneath that, I'm sitting in front of my divorce lawyer and we're unpacking what it's like to get divorced in 6 weeks and how you actually cope after divorce. I've done a topic with an amazing lady, Madeline Mendy, and we talk about cheating. So if you go onto my Instagram, the statements are very bold, but intentionally. Again, if you sit and listen to it, we're talking about, yes, infidelity, the emotional impact of infidelity. And this is a very senior partner that has probably done a lot of the divorces in the UAE, unfortunately, and the legal implications of, of divorce. Another topic that's actually launched about a week ago, it's called Broke in Dubai. And I use that in terms of financial brokenness, but also emotional brokenness. Great guy.
I can relate.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, my plug is to get more people onto the platform. An amazing guy, Eric Fit, and he came to Dubai and had extreme financial difficulties. And he just persevered and manifested what he wanted his life to be. And now is running his own business, is the face of Emirates, is on Times Square, a great model. And it just shows you, in terms of when you're in that very broken place, I know it very well, what you can achieve and where there can be purpose through that as well. Yeah. So yeah, lots of topics.
You're introducing all these people with different walks of lives, right? Like different struggles, different stories, different journeys. How do you find them? Because you needed someone to speak to at the time, right?
Correct.
Which is why you started it.
Yes.
So how are you finding all these people that probably don't have anyone to talk to?
Yeah, do you know what? And I think that's, I'm a Christian, so I always rely on my faith here. And I think literally God has helped me to do this. When I went live with my first episode, Divorce in Dubai, I posted it at midnight. My hands were shaking. And I said, God, if this is where we're going, you need to just guide me and bring the community together. And literally, I've reached out to very busy people and they've given me their time, or they've seen the content and they fully understand the objectives of Let's Talk and have asked to be involved. So I've been quite blessed actually so far to be able to get the right people to help educate others as well in terms of how do you navigate these tough times and the successes as well. Yeah.
And was it, you mentioned your hands were shaking when you shared that first piece. It's so brave, by the way, because my question was really like, haven't spoken about divorce, but you've put yourself on a pedestal in the first What was that like, and what was it like kind of doing that kind of self-reflection to share with other people?
Yeah, it was super scary. I've been in comms, marketing, content. I'm always part of your production team behind the scenes. So I'm in legal in terms of the industry. So preparing lawyers to get ready for interviews and videos, but not the easiest crowd. So I've always been on the other side. So then to put myself forward facing and then to talk about something so personal, yeah, it was tough, but I'm so grateful that I got the courage to do so, because I've had so many people reach out from it as well. But it's not easy being vulnerable. And I think it's not easy in Dubai being so open and vulnerable as well, because during that year, probably today, whoever's listening, some people don't even still know I'm divorced, and my situation, I hid it a lot. And, a lot of the conversation was like, oh, what branches are you going to on the weekend? And I'm like, I'm navigating being a single mum, but I'm putting on a face like everything's fine. So I've learned the value of authenticity and just owning it and kind of accepting the reality. And actually from doing it, so many people are facing a lot, good and bad. I don't think these are just Dubai challenges, but we don't have open spaces to talk about this dialogue, and also in a quite authentic and educational way as well. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's one thing for you to, gather up the courage and put yourself in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Like, why you're doing it. You're doing it for a good cause.
Yes.
You want people to feel seen and heard.
Yeah.
But when you have all these guests come on, how do you convince them to take all their different faces down and just open up?
Yeah, I think through my experience, like I said, I've been working with lawyers for over 10 years. So bringing a lawyer, to show the more human side, to then talk about topics and feel relaxed. So I've been quite fortunate that I'm able to conversate and make people feel quite comfortable in a safe space. And I think because I always articulate, the objective of Let's Talk, if you're willing to come on, I would appreciate the vulnerability and the honesty and anything that you can give to the community where they can learn. And it's just really aligned. I've had people that are willing to really talk about the vulnerable spaces and the successes. And I think I've been able to, hopefully they'd agree, make them feel comfortable to have these conversations as well. Yeah.
So interesting, because you said that there isn't really a space to talk about these particular topics, and you've created it. So are you allowing the community to kind of join the conversation? And if so, what has the response been like?
Yes, yeah. To be honest, I'm a one-man band, so I'm rolling solo at the moment, but I've had so much response about how can we take this outside of the studio? How can we connect in a safe space in person? How can we conversate a lot more? And that's definitely a goal of where I want to elevate the Let's Talk DXB brand and have it well structured and resourced to be able to do so, because I'm overwhelmed by how many people actually do want to share. Yeah, they're willing to share, they're willing to connect with faces and people that are going through similar things. So for now, what I'm trying to do is at least kind of build a community where we can chat and talk, and hopefully take that a bit further and be supported and have the resources to do so. Yeah.
So right now, though, where does that happen? Like, are people DMing you? Or?
Yes. So in the DMs, so Instagram, I've got a really strong kind of community and following on TikTok, actually. So there's daily conversations about things that are happening, topics, and obviously YouTube as well, which is where I post most of the content. But yeah, I'm finding via the various different social platforms that there are conversations that are happening within the small groups, which is fantastic.
That's amazing. Do you have a specific story that hit too close to you and you're like, during the interview, you're just thinking of how it resonates with you?
Oh, yeah.
Or does it happen with everyone at the same time?
To be honest, I've been so blessed that if you watch my facial expressions, because a lot of the time I have a briefing call, I'll put together a brief, but I'm meeting them for the first time. So a lot of the times I'm hearing, their story in person for the first time. So my expressions kind of show how shocked or overwhelmed or grateful I am. One particular topic with Madeline Mendy, so she's a very senior partner, lawyer within the UAE. And we talk about, it wasn't even supposed to go down this route, but we were talking about her career and her upbringing. So it ended up being titled Black in Dubai. And it's very much around diversity and being authentic and embracing who you are fully and taking that in your careers, in your day-to-day. And I was just so inspired by her journey and how real she was actually, and how she brings that into the work she does in law with her clients. So that really touched me. And I'm learning a lot more to kind of fully embrace who I am and, just, show up as Sharon. Yeah.
So interesting that you're having kind of topics and conversations that people haven't really had before.
Yes.
But also one of the things that you said is that you want to do it in kind of a knowledgeable format,
Yes.
so it's constructive.
Correct. Yeah.
And what I think is really interesting, you've mentioned divorce, you've mentioned, you know, being broken and being broke, but you're also giving people that information. How do you ensure that you're going to do that in kind of a fair way?
Yeah, I think for me as well, it's also doing my research. So I'm always kind of mindful of the types of people I bring on. Yes, it is about sharing the story, but I talked about the 3 pillars of Let's Talk. So one of them is very much knowledge-based. So I've had professionals like Madeline Mendy. I recently was in the studio recording with one of the most senior employment lawyers, and the topic is being fired in Dubai. But when you unpick that is actually, what are your rights if you feel like there's been discrimination? There's a new anti-discrimination law. How do you navigate that? How do you navigate the emotional part of actually losing your job? You know, of visas, salaries, maybe your husband's or wife's visas, whatever that dynamic. And she actually talks through all of that. And what I found, you know, I'm fortunate that I've worked within the legal industry, but it's expensive. If you're an everyday person and you feel like you've been discriminated against, where do you start? And can you afford to take up this type of legal battle if you need to? Or if you're unfortunately facing divorce, how do you go about it and how much does it cost? So I've been very intentional to find people that can really support the community for free as well in that way. And I've just been blessed to be able to do that.
Amazing platform, really.
Thank you.
So you still have your day job, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing this at the same time.
Yes, yeah.
How are you balancing both? Because you're doing everything, right?
Yeah, I'm a solo and a mum. Yeah.
And you're also editing?
Yes, well, I've got actually, I use the production team from Podstar. I have to give them a shout out. It's a great studio. So I go through the content and share the edits, initial edits. So they help with the editing, but all of the micro content, research, obviously preparing for the day, it's all on me. How do I manage? Today was a good day. I try and pre-plan as much as possible, but it's hard. I'm in a 9 to 5 busy corporate role. I give myself one day off. I say one day off so I can take myself to a coffee shop, and that Saturday is Let's Talk. So I'll sit there for hours, I'll prepare, I'll edit, I'll research. But I think it also showed that I'm clearly working within a passion. Otherwise, you wouldn't do that. And, you know, I slept at 1 a.m. this morning because I finished work late and I wanted to feel prepared for this. But I'm very passionate about what I'm doing, so I'll make the time. Yeah.
Guys, please take a listen. Let's Talk DXB, a truly valuable platform that might be able to help people through difficult stages in their life. And as you said, it's not there. So it's amazing what you're doing.
Thank you.
How can people find it? How can people listen? How can people get in touch with you?
Yes. So Instagram, Let's Talk DXB, YouTube, Let's Talk DXB, also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And TikTok is a growing community, actually. So we're also on TikTok. So please do reach out. Support, collaboration is very important to me. And as I hope to elevate the Let's Talk brands, I hope the DXB community supports me as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks.
Guys, a truly valuable platform. We really appreciate your time, Sharon.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, that is all we have time for on the Lovin Dubai show this morning. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Bye.